Okay, so there's kind of an interesting story here developing with the Ray movie that I want to talk about real quick. Now, for those who don't know, and I'm sure most of you know, the Ray movie is supposed to be a story that Star Wars is supposed to be coming out with in the near future, and it's going to be focused on the event after Rise of Skywalker with Ray. Now, because the filmmaker had some controversial comments last week that a lot of folks considered to be feminist or maybe like too political, it's been kind of a debate amongst people about like what she really meant. There was a lot of negative backlash to her comments. And already, even before the film would even come out, most people who at least witnessed the rise and fall of the sequel trilogy, those who witnessed what they did with that trilogy and how they failed to get Rey over with the audience as a protagonist, were already questioning why the decision was to make this film. Now, I do think that Daisy Ridley's a talented actress, and I do think the Rey character had potential, but the writing in the sequel trilogy did not make her anywhere near as likable as Luke or even Anakin Skywalker, who a lot of folks complained about as being too whiny in the last two movies of the prequel trilogy. Now, the story is that the movie may have been postponed indefinitely, which usually means it's canceled. It says here Daisy Ridley is set to reprise her role as Rey Skywalker in Charmin Obaid Chinoy. That was the feminist slash controversial political director. Upcoming Star Wars film. We don't know much about this movie except for the controversial remarks this filmmaker has made. That's what I was saying, and that it might be titled New Jedi Order. Well, if they're gonna call it New Jedi Order, bro, you might as well call it Episode 10 and just continue from there, even if it's not a Skywalker. So I'm not really. So this person says I'm not really keen on looking for Star Wars intel, but a well-informed source is giving me information. Is giving me additional details on the current status of this film, and it's not good news. Now, I do not know the source of this information, but I am going to cover it and give my thoughts. He goes on to say, I've been told that Disney has delayed the film indefinitely, which is why they surprised everyone last week and decided to announce The Mandalorian and Grogu as the next Star Wars movie. That was an interesting choice. I thought, and I remember if you guys saw my video on it, I was like, wait a minute, wasn't the Rey movie next? That's the first thing I thought of was, are they going to postpone the Rey movie to get the Mandalorian movie first? And I discussed how it's a better strategy to bring Star Wars back into movie theaters with the Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni Mando movie before you even touch Rey. Because the Mandalorian character and Grogu are both fan favorites now. So it would work out better. You avoid the filler of a possible long season. And it says here they just don't have confidence the New Jedi Order will be happening in the near future. I mean, it's not a good idea to do until you've fully recaptured the Star Wars fans. And I don't know if they could even do that at this point. I've said before that the sequel trilogy, especially The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, may have done irreparable damage to Star Wars. Like, they may have destroyed the fandom. It definitely split the fandom in two, but they may have destroyed the fandom as far as any kind of goodwill towards Star Wars. It says here the problems seem to reside in creative differences between Stephen Knight and Lucasfilm. I'm told that a draft had originally been written for the film, but Lucasfilm gave him so many notes that he had to start from scratch. Huh. I mean, that happens with other movies too within Disney as well. To make matters worse, there's a possibility that Knight might not be staying on board the project. His frustrations have grown, so he's put Star Wars in the back burner and is now focused on the screenplay for his Peaky Blinders movie, which is supposedly going into production in the fall. These issues with Knight come only 2 years after development on the film started, and various drafts had circulated with different writers, including Damon Lindelof, Watchmen. I remember hearing about that too. And Justin Britt Gibson, both eventually exiting this untitled Rey Skywalker movie. Knight came aboard soon after. So again, guys, what do we keep seeing over and over and over again since Lucasfilm was bought by Disney? It's constant behind the scenes turmoil. You have directors getting fired and replaced under Kathy Kennedy. You have Lucasfilm and their story group having to deal with the director's vision and retconning. You have to have the comic book writers follow the movies and retcon things they say or ignore things they say. Lucasfilms, ever since Disney has been bought, I'm sorry, ever since Star Wars was bought by Disney and Lucasfilm was integrated into Disney, it has been a complete and utter mess behind the scenes. I mean, the stories we hear constantly of how unorganized and disheveled this company is mind blowing. It's mind blowing. Let's not forget, yes, the MCU now is kind of falling apart, but they had a good run, years and years and years of success, and they can still pull up the ship. They can still pull the ship back up and fix it. Lucasfilm, complete mess. It's unbelievable. Now, this story came out today, but Disney and others are actually denying this to be a fact. If we go over here to Gizmodo, no, Rey's Star Wars movie has not been delayed. Now, a lot of folks are assuming that Disney's lying about this. Here's why they're saying that. Disney has lied to us before on a great number of occasions. It says here, you can take that latest Star Wars rumor and throw it in the Scarlet Starlight pit. Earlier this week, rumors surfaced that the upcoming Charmin Obaid Chinoy Star Wars film featuring the return of Daisy Ridley as Rey has been delayed indefinitely. The reason? Creative differences with the film's writer, Stephen Knight. Well, that's not true. According to Lucasfilm source at the company told IO9, the report is inaccurate and Knight continues to write and be a part of the process. In fact, the company's writing is waiting on his latest draft as you read this. Now, you can certainly understand the confusion. Last week's announcement of the previously unannounced Mandalorian and Grogu as the next Star Wars movie threw a wrench in everyone's assumptions that the Rey Jedi Order film will be the next one out. However, that news has merely shifted things around and has been demonstrated with this film and its numerous writers over the past few years. The company seems to just want to take its time and make sure it gets everything right. So Disney's denying it. Disney has lied before. Like I said, they've lied about, oh, we always had Palpatine in the plans. Oh, we always had a plan. Like, they're contradictory statements to what the actors have said, the writers. Disney and Lucasfilm, specifically Lucasfilm, has lied multiple times. However, I'm not sure that they're lying about this, and here's why. If this were true, I feel like what Disney would normally do is they would go ahead and let the writer, let Mr. Knight go, let Stephen Knight go, bring on a new writer, and put out a press release saying we've just hired this writer, right? Now, in the past, they've done that. In the past, they lost Michael Arndt, who helped write Force Awakens. He helped shape it. And instead, writing credits went to J.J. Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan. This is just something that happens frequently. And oftentimes, Disney will just announce the replacement. The fact that they're denying it, I understand people may think that Disney's lying. I get it. I don't trust them either. However, it doesn't seem to follow previous company policies when it comes to their opinion or at least their optics on how they handle things like this. They normally would just say, well, it's not what the reporting is inaccurate, but it's true. We've moved on with a different writer. And that has not happened yet. So I think until that happens, I'm going to assume that this is indeed an incorrect rumor and that the Rey project is still ongoing. Those are my thoughts. And I really genuinely believe that. I'm not excited for the Rey movie, but I'm also not here to grift you like a lot of other YouTubers do. I'm giving you my honest opinion and my analysis based on how Disney does things. And even though I'm not in any way excited for this movie, I don't want to see it. I really don't. It could be good. I'm going into it assuming it won't be, but we'll see. I also am not going to sit here and say Disney lies about everything, and they lie a lot, but I don't know if this is a lie. This seems a bit more accurate to me. Anyways, those are my thoughts, y'all. I am still on kind of a break from YouTube, but I'll pop in once in a while, and we'll be doing more recurring content soon, but I'm enjoying that break, so it's a good time. Anyways, take care. Have a good one. See you soon.